So in today's video, I'm going to give you a full course on Artlist AI. And after testing basically every AI video platform for the past year, I think this is currently the best all-in-one AI tool when it comes to generating stunning and cinematic AI videos. Now here's what's coming in this video. First, I'll show you how to generate images and get the most out of them. Then how to turn those images into cinematic shots. Then I'll show you their newest feature, AI Agent. And lastly, we'll touch on Artlist Studio, where this all comes together into full productions. And by the end of this video, you're going to know this entire platform inside out. Let's get into it. So here's the tool, and basically this is where it all begins. Now, if you don't have an account just yet, you can grab my link down below. And actually with this link, you're going to be able to save up to 40% on any of the annual plans, as you can see yourself. Moreover, if you want to take action now, as you can see, Artlist recently rolled out unlimited generations. So you can literally have unlimited generations with the select models on the select plans. So it really depends on what you want. But I think the best bet here is the AI creator plan, because whether you go with monthly or yearly, it does include unlimited generations. But if you are a heavier user and you want access to more models, also AI Professional is a good choice. So grab it down below while it's here, and let's proceed to the tool. All right, so once you create your account, this is where you're going to end up. And so now I'm going to basically just start diving into the features of Artlist, and I'm going to go from the basic stuff to the stuff that is more complex and needs more guidance. And so let's get into it. And by the way, I'm going to have timestamps down below this video. So if it gets boring or you understand already something and you just want to skip to the next part, feel free to use the timestamps. But the first thing on my list is going to be AI Toolkit. And really, I guess it's like the most basic and simple place where you're going to start potentially. It is the place where you're going to just simply generate your images, videos, or voiceovers. And so as you can see, by default, you're going to be greeted by this library where other users have shared their creations. And actually, when I'm creating something, I really like to just scroll across here. It's kind of like Pinterest. You get the opportunity to look at cool and fabulous looking generations. Like look at this, for example. And this can also be quite educational because, for instance, you can actually go in and see what models people use and how they generate the images. So, for example, I could click into this image and I could see that how this was made. I actually had to move myself out the way there, but you can see here the prompt that was used, which is a quite detailed prompt. Actually, it's a ginormous prompt. So you could copy this and give it over to AI like ChatGPT, and then develop your own prompts based on this one right here. And then you can also see the model that was used, the aspect ratio, and you can also even click on edit, right, or recreate, and you can actually go ahead and recreate this particular video in the toolkit. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here, so let's start with the basics and let's start with just creating simple images. All right, so let's create an image. I've got this prompt. I used AI to generate this prompt, but later in the video, I'm going to actually show you how you can use Artlist AI Agent to generate prompts yourself if you don't want to leave the platform at all. But for now, I just want to create a demo image just to show you the basics. So I'm now going to go in the bottom here and click on image. So next up, I'm going to paste my prompt right here. And as you can see, for those of you who got the annual plan or the plan basically that includes unlimited, this is where you're going to be able to toggle it on. So do make sure to pay attention to that because, I mean, you want to use it, right? If you got the plan that supports it. Now, when it comes to selecting your model, here at the bottom, you can click on the model name and then click on show all, and you're going to be able to see all the models that are available in general. Now, the ones, the better ones, I would say are Nano Banana Pro, Nano Banana 2, and GPT Image 2 are probably arguably the best models right now. So I'm going to go ahead and create an image with each of the models. So for instance, the first one, let's try out Nano Banana 2. So as you can see in the bottom, make sure to toggle on unlimited like I said, and once you do, just click on generate and see what you get. So while it's doing the work, I'm also gonna start a generation with GPT Image 2 and just see what this model is gonna produce as well. And last one on the list is gonna be Nano Banana Pro, in my opinion the best model right now out of all. So let's see what it does. All right, so here are the generations. So this is what we got with Nano Banana 2. You can look at the quality yourself. Now, this is what we got, I believe, with GPT Image 2. Honestly, this looks way more realistic than Nano Banana 2, in my opinion. And lastly, this one is what we got from Nano Banana Pro. Honestly, this one is pretty good as well. Now, my favorite is probably actually GPT Image 2. So even though I did say that, in my opinion, in the long term, Nano Banana Pro is the best model, just usually, but you still always want to test every single angle and generation with different models because, as you can see, in my opinion, right now GPT Image 2 demonstrated the best output. So that is why it's important to produce different inputs with different models. So now that I've shown you how to generate images in the first place, I now want to show you some character consistency tricks. So the first thing I want to do is replace this object in his hand. So I want to replace this hawk with you'll see what in a minute. And then I'm going to take this character in another generation and put it in a different environment so that you can get an idea of how it's done. So in order to do that, the minute you have an image, click into that and then click on edit right here at the bottom. And then what's going to happen is this image is going to be selected as reference. And you really have to do that. Like if you want to work with an image, you have to make sure it's going to be selected. And so, like I said, you can either just select it from your generations or you can simply upload it from your computer, whatever works for you. I mean, you might have an image of yourself. So for example, what I mean is, as you can see, I tried to create a YouTube thumbnail with myself and had a few good generations like this one, for example. And so for that, I obviously uploaded an image of myself from my computer just so that I don't generate myself with AI. I think it makes sense. So now I'm going to select this image. I'm going to select the same model that was used to generate the reference image. I think it's also important. Choose a higher quality, use this model, and now just simply click on generate and let's see what we get. And so as you can see, I prompted the AI to make the birds to be a phoenix, and as you can see, it did get the job done. So if we look at the reference image, it was just a simple hawk, but now it's a phoenix. And I want you to pay attention to the character. It stayed consistent, and I like it because back in the day, you had to train your models, create lore, be super technical. Now it can be just done within a simple prompt. So now I want to show you how to take this same character and also put it in a different environment as well. So at this time, I'm giving AI a prompt where it's going to basically place the man in a palace. So the goal for AI is to keep the man exactly the same, visually, same beard, same looking man in the same outfit, but he's going to be placed in a palace at night. So let's see what it does. So here's what we got. Now, basically, we did not instruct AI to remove the bird or change the posture of the man. It just kept basically the man literally exactly the same. It just copied him over into a different environment, which is what I wanted. But now let's say I wanted to take it a step further and I want to remove the bird and I want to change the posture of the man. So I'm just going to give it now this different prompt. I will remove the previous reference image and I will now add a new reference image, which is going to be this one. And now once again, click on generate and see what we get. And AI did get the job done. So as you can see, it is now this man in a palace without the bird. So you get the idea. You could now take this in any direction you want to. Really, it just depends on what you are creating. So fundamentally, working with images nowadays is super simple, especially if you want to keep the characters consistent. Now, if you did work with AI tools like at least 2 years ago, you understand the pain and you understand why I'm emphasizing it so much, because really only recently it was not as easy. But now, thanks to Artlist AI, it is super easy to do. And with that being said, let's move on to the next step where I'm going to show you how to turn those images into cinematic videos. So I'm going to go back to one of the original versions of this image and I'm going to turn that into a video. So to do that, I'm going to click on video right here at the bottom of this interface and it's going to take me to this menu. And so as you can see at the bottom here, it already automatically selected the video mode, and this image is going to be used as a start frame. I'm actually not going to place an end frame because I want the output to be kind of open-ended, if you will. But what you could also do is you can select an end frame. So for example, just for instance, you could use this image and you can actually create a cinematic transition between the hawk and the phoenix. And you know what? I didn't plan to, but let me prompt it real quick to show you what I'm talking about and how this could be used. And so what I recommend to do is go into an AI of your choice. In this case, I'm on Claude. And you could do something like this. Just give it 2 screenshots of what you're cooking up and then just literally be like, what prompt would I use to create a transition between these two where the hawk turns into a phoenix? Also, don't want the man to stand there awkwardly because I feel like if you don't mention that, the man is just going to be like glitched out and really it will stand there awkwardly, or he will stand there awkwardly. So, and you get this prompt. Now, you could just grab this prompt, go ahead back into Artlist and where we had this scene right here. Now paste this prompt. So the best video model for creating those shot-to-shot transitions is specifically going to be Clink 3.0, not Seedance, not anything else, Clink 3.0. I mean, I guess Seedance can also do that, but just trust me with this one. I've had multiple generations with this specific effect, and Clink is just the best one for this use case. So select that. Now in the settings, you can go with the duration 5 seconds. Resolution, you could go up to 4K, but I am going to go with 1080p just so that I get the result quicker. And then aspect ratio is going to be selected automatically, based on the image dimensions. Audio, keep it enabled, why not? And now let's click on generate and see what it produces. And so this is the kind of output you could potentially get. Now, again, I'm actually side questing here. I was not even planning to show you this frame to frame effect, but then I just remembered that it exists. So why not? I've used it myself quite a lot when I personally create anything with AI. It's rather a tactical feature. So if you have a precise vision for like what you want to create and what you want to get out of this, that is when you use it. And so not only you save credits, although now with the unlimited plan that they offer, you're still risking your time because it takes time to generate those and you're going to sit here, wait for the generations. This one probably took like a minute to be generated. So, it adds up. So anyway, when you want to be tactical and really precise, that is when you use it. And as you can see, again, the man is still kind of like awkward. So probably you would have to think this through ahead of time. So for instance, when generating this Phoenix image, you would want the man to be looking in another direction so that it's not as awkward. You get the idea. But, this effect is here. Now, let me show you different ways of generating AI videos. So what I'm going to try to do now is I'm just going to create a video with only a starting frame. And then after we do that, I'm going to create a video with no starting frame from just blank. So basically, this is kind of the same concept when you create a start or when you create a video with start and end frame. Basically, here you have precise control over what it starts with and exactly what it ends with. But this is not as tactical. So the only element you fully control is what it starts with, obviously. So I'm going to put in this fairly simple prompt that goes like this. Animate this image, slow cinematic push in, sand dripping in the wind, and the hawk suddenly takes off from his arm. And that's pretty much it, a fairly simple prompt. So I'm going to do a Kling 3.0 for this. And also let's try, of course, Seedance 2.0, although this one is going to take a few moments to be generated. Now, here are all the video models that are available to you. Another popular one would be VO 3.1. And actually, the one they added recently, I didn't even know this was here, is HeyGen Avatar 4. And basically, the reason you might want to use that one is to obviously create talking avatars. So this is pretty cool. You can see here, you can also select the talking style. And I actually did not know this was here. And you can also use HeyGen Translate. So once you potentially create your talking avatar, you can even create or dub it into a different language. This is super cool because HeyGen is a whole other tool which specializes on talking avatars. But as you can see, Artlist went ahead and integrated with HeyGen. So and I'm not pitching, I'm just letting you know that like if you get an unlimited subscription, for example, for Artlist, you can essentially use HeyGen at no additional cost, which means you won't have to go ahead and purchase a whole other tool. And so if you need talking avatars, that could be the way. And as you can see, a bunch of other images. Here at the bottom, we have some Chinese ones, Wan and Hailu, but they're not as good, to be fair. So I prefer to go with Seedance, VO3, and Kling 3. Now, enough of me talking. Let's see what we get. All right, so here are the generations that we got. So this is what was produced with Kling 3.0. I mean, the job was done. Sand is kind of being moved in the back, and the hawk does take off from his hand. And let's see what Seedance produced. All right, so not so bad. And in my opinion, Seedance 2.0 did do a better job, but it does take a bit longer. So again, when you work with start and end frames, Kling 3.0 is definitely the winner. But when you just have a starting frame, in my opinion, Seedance 2.0 tends to do a better job pretty much all the time. And so the last way of creating videos is just by using a simple prompt without no starting images or without no starting and ending images. Now, to be fair, this is the kind of way where you have the least amount of control over your creation. So you really have to dial in your prompt. And I mean, there's no limit. Here I'm currently using like a fairly simple prompt, which is just a paragraph long. But if you want to have something precise, truly, it should be longer, better, and more detailed. And you can also use AI, like even Claude, to help you do that. But again, I'm just playing around at this point. And so, for instance, we can go with the Seedance 2.0 as well and just give that a generation. And then another one could be, let's say, Kling 3.0. And let's see what kind of results we get out of those. And so now this is what we got by just giving AI a simple prompt, and it just took the creativity to itself, and this is what it produced essentially. And I think now you can see exactly what I was talking about when I was saying that you don't have that much creative control, right? Like you're just relying on randomness. I mean, nothing wrong with if you're just being creative, I guess. Sometimes it's actually it can be a good thing to allow the AI to create this from ground up. But again, typically if you're creating something rather cinematic, if you're looking to make a short film and you really want to have that control, like here, for example, I did use two different models, but the difference is rather minor. Like, yes, there is difference. So Seedance 2.0 took a bit more time to zoom in and the whole thing just looks better. By the way, let's see. So yeah, this is Seedance 2.0 and I do like this one better. It's just, I don't know, this one just makes sense. And this one is, I'm not saying it's necessarily bad, but it's just not as good as the other one, and this one was made by Kling. So also for completely creative inputs, you would want to go with Seedance 2.0. But yeah, in my opinion, it's always better to have an initial input in, you know, in terms of an image to actually get going with your video. So the next feature I want to show you here is an AI agent that Artlist built in. Basically, earlier in the video, I was mentioning that you could go to a foreign, you know, large language model to ideate your prompts, but you could also do it here inside of the platform and do it all within this agent. And so let me give it a simple prompt to show you how it works. And so here you could either give it a simple idea that you have, or you can also ask it to help you write a prompt or create a video, describe an image. You get the idea. But yeah, for now, I'm just going to give it this simple prompt and let's see what it starts doing. And so as you can see, it produced this image with a indeed samurai cat sitting on this roof, right? And so it also mentions the model that was used and the credits that were burned and the, you know, the quality and the resolution. And so then you can ask it to, for instance, further edit this image. So for example, I could tell it to now place this cat in a typical Japanese park. And so let's see what happens here. And so this is what we got, as you can see. And from here, for instance, you could take this image and click on edit and then take it back to the toolkit and then further edit it as you wish. But from my experience, using AI agent is best for like brainstorming and creative flow, just kind of playing with concepts. You can now actually click on suggested features. So for example, soft morning light, and see how it transforms the image. And so this is what we got. And now you can kind of get the idea of how it does some of the heavy lifting for you, and just with simple images or simple sentences, you can edit images. So again, this was the reference and this is what we got. So nothing too complicated. It's pretty much an extension of AI Toolkit, but just in a familiar, you know, AI interface where you can actually chat with it. And by the way, every input doesn't need to be like image producing. You can actually ask it questions, tell it to give you prompts. And so the remaining feature that I want to talk about that Artlist offers is called Artlist Studio. And so the way you even find this feature is going to be right here. So you go back to the homepage and then you click here at the top on Studio and you'll be taken to a whole separate interface. And this is basically Artlist's attempt to create like an all-in-one environment where you can create actual films, clips without even leaving the tool. So what you can do is you can click on create a new project. In this case, I've already had a project, but you know what? Let's create a new one and just name it test. And now I'm going to go ahead and create this project. And basically the way it works is you combine elements into a single concept and then turn those into images or scenes. So top to bottom, I'm going to give it a quick rundown because at the end of this video, I'm going to link you to a video that I actually made a full course on Artlist Studio. That one was 25 minutes long. So you can feel free to watch this video afterwards. But long story short, here at the top, you select your models. Here, then you select the length and other settings, such as, for example, camera lens. So you can literally select your camera type and a camera lens if it's important to you like that, and you really want to have a specific vision for your shots. And then here on the left, you can actually create or select your characters and actually sort of build them up like you would build Lego piece by piece. And then here on the left, you can select locations and also build those into a single prototype. And then a recently added feature, you can also add objects into your shots. And then once everything is done, you can actually add those into here just by tagging those. And so to show you an example of what I did in the previous video, which you're welcome to watch after this one because it's a long one. And there's a lot of things here that you could potentially leverage in your creation process. But what I did is I added this custom character and then this location, which is the desert. And then I gave it this prompt, and then it basically made these subsequent scenes where the character first rolls into, you know, this desert environment. Then he walks out, and then in the next scene he turns around and walks backwards. And so that is how you can sort of leverage this tool, is to create like subsequent scenes. And so guys, I want to finish this video off here and let you watch the next video where I explain Artlist Studio start to finish. But before you go, I do want to remind you that they're currently running unlimited generations promo, where you can once again get literally unlimited generations. So get the link down below, get the promo. Otherwise, click on the screen now as well to go to the next video and watch everything that you need to know about Artlist Studio. I'll see you there.